A year ago, we packed our bags, moved out of Atlanta, and onto our boat. We spent the last 12 months living and working hard on our boat, determined to get her and us ocean ready, investing mostly our time to get where we are today. As a crane's wheels slowly roll forward, a billion what-ifs pop into our heads. Our hearts are pounding, we are nervous, but we are also so excited for this very moment. In the last few episodes, we repaired some major holes, finished sanding the hull, and fixed the keel joint. But of course, they were not the last repairs on the hull. Weeks ago, we filled the bilge with water to check for leaks before sealing up the keel joint, and as you can imagine, we found one. So as always, out came the grinder. We sanded down the area to discover that our keel apparently has what we want to call a boat tumor. We drilled out a few openings to let the water drain, and then cleaned it. This fiberglass job was a bit more complex than the previous ones, so then traced each section first and applied them as he went. After all the layers were in place, we used the leftover bits to fill in the gaps. Once the epoxy had cured, we were satisfied with the final result, so we moved on to our next task. That same week, the boatyard finally decided to move us to a better location. Well, a bit better.
They move us from here to here. We wanted to go out here. So
the first time we picked our boat up off the trailer from Boston, felt like you could just poke it and it would wobble and flex the hull right here. And now that all the floors are glassed back in, we can try. But the whole boat moves.
It was a huge relief to know that all the repairs to the keel paid off. So we were more than happy to continue with that pre-launch checklist. We first sanded and faired the keel joint, then moved on to fairing the other repairs and smaller dents in the hull. Our new location might not be exactly what we meant when we asked to be moved closer, but at least we have access to water now. We were able to wash our boat from top to bottom, taking our time to remove some nasty stains that built up over the last few months of dust and rain. After we washed the hull and wiped it with acetone, we were finally ready to start masking the waterline. By the way, while sanding off all the old bottom paint, we were lucky enough to discover the original waterline, scored in a gel coat. So it was easy to retrace and tape it off. We first applied a super thick epoxy barrier coat. We purchased it from an online epoxy dealer. It is designed for industrial steel fuel tanks and provides a one-coat application thick enough to prevent water penetration and corrosion. You can find a link in the description below, by the way, if you're interested. One gallon of this gives us one thick coat over the entire hull, equivalent to about 3 coats of other barrier coat paint. We've learned that it's always better to work with epoxy in one continuous job and not wait for it to harden, so that the bond is chemical rather than mechanical. While we waited for the barrier coat to get tacky, we went and grabbed our copper test from the dock and analyzed the results.
Alright, so time for an experiment. We got barnacles growing over here where there's no copper paint all the way around. And then this stuff comes off pretty easy. This is after being in the water for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that. So these little guys are growing on there. This is just a rag. But you can see the barnacles are all growing off the copper. We didn't sand this nearly as well as we sanded the bottom of our boat. I mean, we really only sanded a little bit over here. This is unsanded. So I'd say that's a relatively successful experiment. At least now we're sure that when we put our boat in the water, we won't have barnacles, at least for 6 weeks.
So we headed back to the boat, and a couple hours later, we were ready to move on to our next step, copper. Before we explain what it is, let's be clear on one thing. What we have is not copper coat, the official marketed copper bottom paint. It's an epoxy mixed with copper powder. The epoxy provides long life and waterproof barrier, while the copper keeps hard growth like barnacles off the hull. Although we will have to clean the soft growth off more frequently than some other ablative paint, we expect the copper to give us many years of barnacle-free bottom.
That's the actual story.
After hours of painting and 3.5 thick coats, we were done and she looked good. Job well done. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning and we just finished putting our 3rd coat of copper bottom paint on our boat. We've been painting all day and we're tired. So now it's time for a shower and sleep, and looks good. So, yay. The next morning, it was time to tackle the boot stripe. Den being the tallest, he was in charge of that painting task. But he quickly got tired of stepping on and off the 5-gallon bucket, so he had a bit of a light bulb moment. Once everything was basically done and all the masking tape removed, we moved over the jack stands to finish the job. Our friend Josh came over and helped us finish painting. Once it cured, we sanded the entire hull with 240 grit sanding disc in order to remove the fine layer of epoxy and activate the copper. And just like that, we were ready. And now here we are, with a billion what-ifs popping into our heads. Our hearts are pounding, we are nervous, but we are so excited for this very moment. Watching our home, our office, our boat, being transported and slowly lowered closer and closer into the ocean. The moment had finally arrived.
Hey guys!
So thank you so much for watching our season 1 finale. I hope you guys liked it, and make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
And also a big shout out to Brendan and Leia from Parasailing, who came up from Miami this week to give us a visit. And we hung out and barbecued and drank some beers. It was a lot of fun.
We also want to give a big thanks to our super awesome YouTube subscribers, Facebook followers, Instagram likers, and all of those who came for a visit, especially Uma Angels, who've been supporting us through Patreon and through our website. You guys are awesome and a big motivation for us to continue sharing this beautiful journey.
In the meantime, if you guys have any other questions for us, next week we're going to be posting a video where we try to answer as many questions as we can. Just add a comment down below, send us an email, go on our website. We will be piling a list together and try to get all those to you.
So yeah, thank you so much again for watching all of our season 1's video. If you haven't already, make sure you go do that right now. Also,
stay tuned for season 2 coming soon.
Cheers!
Be professional.
Take 2. Be professional.
Sorry.
Right, be professional. I can see very clearly now.
By the way, we're going to do our cheers.
Now. My glasses are big. Right?
You just hit your glasses.
Yes.
You ramble a lot.
I did.
What happened to keeping it succinct?
I know.
Okay.
Final take.
If you guys haven't checked it out already, you can visit our Patreon page right here and help continuing support us on our adventures and our videos.
Copper bottom jeans, barnacle free. The barnacles were looking at her. She's on the water. She floats like, whoa. Barnacle goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's get away from her.